Hi guys, this is Alan Shafran, Shafran Realty Group, North County, San Diego Coastal #1 group. We're super proud of it and we're aggregating data. I was recently on a seminar with, and I got to speak next to James Clear, Atomic Habits, and guess who dropped into the seminar? We had Barry Habib, who is one of our idols. We listened to him. He is the single most accurate prognosticator as it relates to real estate and interest rates in the economy. And you can see this guy's accolades are through the roof. And I'm going to go through this quickly because I want to get this done for you in a few minutes. We have a full presentation for you if you want to hear him and see every single slide and how it all comes together, because I'm sure that my summation today is going to have some holes in it. But I just wanted to give you some data so you can make better decisions for yourself. So let's go ahead and get started. He just gave us a couple of slides here. And what I'm just reminding everybody is use your brains, read the right things. Don't fall for the clickbait. Don't fall for the TikToks. You might be getting this from TikTok. Don't fall for the Instagrams, because look at the data. They look back and everything is about media and hype and emotions. January 14th was the time to begin, not the time to quit. We know that. Look at some of this from CNBC, right? They're talking about the housing bubble and bursting and everything else. 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. We can look back at all this. I don't want to spend too much time here. But again, what we're reminding you is just because they're saying it doesn't mean it to be true. Use your own data, use your own information. Surround yourself by the smartest people that you know revolving this, and remove your emotions so you can make great decisions. Okay, let's get going. Okay, this side's showing that inflation drives mortgage rates, right? As inflation means prices are going up, maybe the economy is heating too much. The government is saying, hey, we need to slow things down. The way we slow things down is we raise interest rates to make everything more expensive, and we want people to spend a little bit less. And that's the inflation, and that's how the mortgage rates coincide with it. And so we have to be wary of that, because as the inflation does the inverse, which is go down, it also means mortgage rates go down. So be cognizant of that as you're looking at these. With the way they're making decisions here with some of these inflation, like where's the level of inflation, a big part of that is shelter costs, leases, building expenses, things like that. Shelter costs lag. They lag by 6 months to a year. So what we're seeing, and they always look at these indexes of rolling 12 months, is that every month as the new rates come up, they're actually 3% versus what they're looking at, which could be 6, 8, 10, 12, as high as 18%. So here's the other couple slides that I wanted to bring in to show you here. You can see where the shelter costs of what they're looking at here from the apartment lists here have actually come into play, and then what is actually happening moving forward. You can see that they're coming down in rate as far as what we're seeing here, and it's continuing to do so. And again, I'm not going to go into too much detail here because it'll take way too much time. The question is here that we're looking at: why is the recession not here? Is the recession coming? We do feel that a recession is coming. And yes, while there's some bad things that go with that, they're projecting 1 million jobs that might be off the market. Those will not all be home buyers and home sellers, but we're definitely going to have some sort of a recession. What do we need to know about a recession that's forthcoming? Rates typically go down in a recession. So you can see here on this side, they absolutely coincide. Year after year, data after data, over decades and decades of information, you can see that mortgage rates go down with recessions. Here in this information, you can see that recessions in real estate coincide with strength. All of the dark painted columns here are the areas that we've had recessions, and all that happens for the most part when we see that is real estate continues to climb through that. And why? Because mortgage rates continue to come down during recessionary periods. This is a very important point. I don't have an exact slide on this, but Barry was talking about this. If we have a low inventory environment like we do right now, and interest rates come down, which is what is being prognosticated, every 1% that interest rates come down, 5 million new buyers come into the marketplace. What is that going to do to our marketplace where the inventory is already low? Something to think about. This is a scenario here as far as a slide that talks about formations. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. Formations are, the prognostication of what inventory is coming from new construction, and then the completions are what's actually been completed. And we can see how much new builder and inventory is coming because they have to go through the city, they have to ask for permits, they have to plan. So these are all data. This is all data that is being given to people like Barry and others that aggregate it, and then they can see what's forthcoming. And what you can see, again, if you want more detail on this, I won't spend too much time on this, is where it's going and where it's been, which is incredible. Again, not going to go into this one too much, but Barry also brings in population statistics, and you can see how the population has risen and fallen over the years. He does talk in this section over here about why it comes down. Whoops, let me go back here one. Why it comes down, and then it starts to go back up. But what we're going to see is the combination of the population rising in line with the low inventory and the low interest rates is going to create a very strong housing environment. Okay, this is in reference to the low vacancy rates. You can see where it makes sense. Back in the last real estate boom and then the recession that followed, everyone was getting financing so easily that they were buying homes, flipping them, they were staying vacant. You probably remember some of it from The Big Short. And it's changed since because the population has gone crazy. Everyone else has been buying homes, keeping them, and or actually renting them. And so we have the lowest vacancy rates that we've seen in history at this point, according to some of the data that we're gathering. You want to talk housing bubble? Well, there it is. You can see it there, 2007, 4 million homes for sale. Again, we're going to keep going back to supply and demand. Again, we have more and deeper data for you if you want to get into this more, but look at where this is sitting. I'm going to click right over here. Whoops, I have to go backwards now again because it clicks forward. 980,000 homes for sale across the country versus 4 million plus back in 2007. And guess what, guys? That 980 isn't even real because it's 980,000 less the 402,000, which is actually under contract. So we have 340 million people in this country, a population that is growing with less and less inventory, less and less actual listings for sale. Some of the stuff that you're probably seeing about today. Housing forecasts, lower inflation, recession-like slowdown, incomes are increasing to help affordability, very tight inventory. These are all the things and all of the data that's been given to us on these slides to help us see where this is going. This data set's actually and always fun for me because people forget it. So many people that we deal with, their minds are still back in 2007, 8, 9, 10. Different world, guys. That's where they were lending. Remember again that movie, The Big Short, lending to anybody without any qualifications. So you remember back then, and here it shows 2008. This is showing loan to value. That means that the loan was 81% of the home's value, and that was average. We know it was probably a lot less than that in San Diego as people buying $1 million homes with zero down. That has changed. They kept the loan parameters very tight. They've done a good job with that. And in addition to that, people have come in with a lot of cash over the last several years. So you can see where we're at now. Look at 2022, average is 42% loan to value. Guys, sellers don't have to move. No one's being forced. They're in good positions if they want to rent. This is one of the items, one of the facts that's contributing to a low active inventory. Okay, I'm not going to go into much detail on these at all, if any. This is just facts. And again, in the longer video, you can see how Barry is proving that affordability is actually at a much different place than what the rest of the world perceives it to be in spite of rising interest rates. We're seeing rising wages and other things that are catching up. If you combine that with lower inflation, we're going to see things really balance out. So I'm going to go through a couple of these. This is strike point. This is critical for you guys to know. Please reach out to us about this. When is the right time to buy real estate? When is the wrong time? Are you waiting? What are you doing? Is it a strategy? Is it a plan? You can see here that without going into more detail, there really is a negativity in trying to wait for the bottom. We just have never seen anybody buy in a place where they're like, yeah, we nailed it at the bottom of the market. But we always see everybody extraordinarily happy a year plus after the fact because they made the right decision. So talk to us about the timing, your goals, where you want to go, and if you want more of this data. He again talks about what happened last time when inventory was at 2.4 million. It went up about 8% per year after that plus. Now we're at 980,000, which we actually know is 500 and something thousand of active inventory. What do we think is going to happen? And he goes into this more. I won't go into it too much. Talks about buy versus rent. And then I'm going to end it on time maximum pessimism is the best time to buy. That's that herd mentality we talked about. So if you guys, whoever sent this out to you from my group, or if you want to contact us direct on any level, please let us know. We're happy to give you information. It's what we want to do. And hope you guys are having a great week. Talk to you soon.